0.4, The Last of the Druids, brings a few things to the table, and even though some will consider this a pretty underwhelming expansion, others believe that it's just fine, as we've seen some significant changes. This video will be a quick TLDR version of everything important they revealed without going into the patch notes. We'll cover those in a completely separate TLDR video. So here is everything important the GGG announced for 0.4, The Last of the Druids. The Druid is a hybrid strength intelligence class built around instant form, swapping between human and 3 animal forms: bear, wolf, and wyvern. Human form spells keep working while you're transformed, letting you mix melee and spell casting on the fly. As a human, you use nature magic, volcanoes, thunderstorms, and entangling vines that keep affecting the fight while you shift into animal form. Transforming is instant thanks to new animal talismans, which grant each form's abilities, and it's a two-handed weapon. One example is the Fury of the King, turning your bear into a fire demon with a fiery jump slam and constant glory generation. One of the forms, the bear for example, is slow, heavy, and powered by rage. Mole builds rage, Furious Slam spends it, and slamming on a volcano makes it erupt harder. Build enough rage and you can go into rampage. And using the Warcry Ferocious Roar lets you socket Warcries as meta gems from other classes, opening up some pretty good build diversity. The second form we have is the Wolf, which is all about speed and cold damage. Your basic attack leaps forward, Lunar Assault freezes enemies, and Rake knocks off explosive ice shards. With Pounce, you mark enemies, which similarly with the Bear's Roar, you can add meta gems to it. Killing the marked enemies that we just mentioned summons wolves by your side. In bosses, Cross Slash detonates marks and even summons wolves without needing kills, while also exploding all ice shards on the ground. You can also transform into an Arctic werewolf with Lunar Blessing for extra speed and more cold power. The Wyvern form, or should we say the dragon, which was a nice surprise here, mixes melee and powerful breath attacks, devours corpses or low health enemies alive to build power charges, spend them with Ren to lightning charge your wings for huge AoEs, spit bouncing fireballs with rolling magma, cover enemies in oil, or channel a massive lightning barrage. And you can literally take off and fly while raining fire with flame breath. Dracarys, I guess. Apart from their forms, Druid brings a brand new spell totem meta gem, which lets you toss out a totem that casts any spell in the game for a short time, and there are over 30 new support gems added to the game as well. At launch, Druid will have 2 ascendancies. The Shaman, which is a spellcaster who gets stronger the angrier he is, generates rage, spends it to empower spells, unlocks exclusive idle rune mods, and triggers elemental storms automatically. And the second one is the Oracle, a Master of Foresight, sees visions of future skills used, and deals damage across timelines when enemies are vulnerable. He also gains damage according to the visions that he actually sees. Pretty interesting concept, and with both of these ascendancies and a lot of additional changes to the tree, the Druid side will have over 130 unique passive nodes added to the tree. Now, apart from the Druid, we're also getting a brand new league, of course, called the Fate of the Vaal. This will be a pretty interesting and significant mechanic in the game, so I'm going to dedicate a full video on explaining it in more detail. But for now, this is what you need to know. You'll find Vaal remnants scattered everywhere, and killing nearby monsters charges these devices. When you finally power one up, it reveals its true purpose, which is a portal to a massive underground Vaal temple, Atziri's long-lost domain. Inside is a map console showing a broken, disconnected dungeon layout. The simple version of what this means is that we'll be able to craft our own dungeon, the path we take, who we fight, and what rewards we might actually get. To explain it a little bit further, every single time that you enter the temple, you choose 6 runes to place. You get them by doing the temples, and then you place them. You're literally designing your own dungeon layout, connecting paths, placing reward rooms, and creating routes towards Atziri's chamber. Each room offers different encounters and loot, and the placement matters. If you put a commander, for example, next to a troop garrison, that garrison is going to level up, which is going to make the monster stronger, but better rewards. So every room clearly shows what it interacts with, so you don't need to memorize anything, just strategize around the building. After each run, some rooms are going to destabilize and disappear, and you get to rebuild the temple again. Over time, the structure gets bigger and deeper and more rewarding. When you reach the endgame, Doriani steps in with a mission to travel back in time, right before Atziri triggered the Cataclysm. And we're going to try and stop her. So this is going to unlock entirely new room types with endgame rewards. You're going to need to expand the temple massively to reach Atziri actually, and her chamber is locked behind a room you don't initially have access to. To unlock it, you're going to need to hunt down the temple's architect, which is the boss before the big boss. Defeating this guy unlocks a special console that lets you place unique reward rooms. Stuff like currency rooms, rune rooms, or even experimental crafting rooms that extract socketables from items. Pretty cool stuff, but everything happens once you kill the architect mini-boss. Now, why should you do all of this? Well, because every temple room, whatever you want to call it, in the past version offers some of the wildest crafting in the game, and not only. For example, a corruption chamber at level 1 lets you corrupt an item. At level 3, you unlock a special device that lets you corrupt an already corrupted item a second time, adding another enchant. However, there's a downfall, a 50% chance to completely destroy the item. We're even getting corrupted gems as well that enhance our abilities further, which is pretty cool. Other rooms offer unique bosses, special loot, and crafting opportunities. A level 3 alchemy lab, for example, drops new corrupted soul cores. A level 3 sacrificial chamber lets you further corrupt Vaal uniques, removing one mod and replacing it with another one randomly. And if you don't have the item on you, you can literally just turn these crafts into currency items to use or actually trade. One of my personal favorite rooms is the Flesh Surgeon. You can upgrade it with advanced flesh labs, defeat the grotesque creations that you're gonna find in there, and you're gonna unlock the surgery table for yourself. You're gonna place your character in there and you can literally replace your own limbs with crafted Vaal body parts, gaining random bonuses. These buffs disappear, however, when you die, so you can always return back and try and get better ones or recraft your limbs. Some rooms also grant medallions that lets you control the temple by boosting a room's level or preventing rooms from destabilizing, so you can farm rewards twice. So this mechanic is fully designed for endgame with level 3 temples, adding global dungeon mods that stack for higher difficulty and better rewards. You can store up temple runs, save them, go blast some maps, and then return later on if you want to. A good strategy will definitely be needed here to collect as much as you can before you face the final boss, or should I say, the new pinnacle boss, Atziri, because they're adding a new pinnacle boss, which is obviously Atziri. With the new league, there are also a few extra changes to the endgame. For example, Abyss is no longer everywhere by default. Rise of the Abyssal now behaves like a regular random endgame mechanic. If you do, however, want to farm it and consistently do Abyssals, then there's a new tablet, the Abyssal tablet, which adds Abysses to any map. You can even craft the tablet with Abyss-specific mods to power them up. Abyss also gets its own Atlas tree cluster with points earned by completing Abysses, running depths, and killing Abyss bosses. You can specialize in more monsters, faction bonuses, league interactions, or even map overruns where Abysses spread into nearby maps. Pretty cool stuff. However, Abyss crafting on Waystone specifically is completely gone. Also, instilling mods on your Waystone from Distilled Emotions are also gone. Instead, now tablets carry that power, and you only need to craft them once every 10 maps. After defeating the Arbiter, you can even upgrade tablets to rares with 4 mods using standard currency. So basically, Arbiter is now mandatory that one time. To replace the old power level of instilling, tablets themselves have been significantly buffed. Due to these changes, Delirium Fog, which I'm very happy about, won't be in every single map, and even if it is, they have significantly toned it down, as well as adding a radius around your character that doesn't get affected by the fog. They also decreased the monster density of maps by 40%, and their HP increased by 40%, so there's going to be fewer but harder. However, we are also getting 40% more loot from them and 40% more experience gained. Lastly, performance is getting a significant upgrade. CPU optimization has been a major focus, improving multi-threading and reducing load. We should see around 25% higher frame rates, and even more than that according to Jonathan, and far fewer stutters and spikes. So this was everything significant announced for the new league. All the balance changes and everything are mentioned in the patch notes, but as I said before, we're going to release a whole different TLDR video for the patch notes because they're pretty There are a lot of them. They did a lot of changes, but they didn't announce the changes within the reveal video of what's coming. That's why we're going to do a separate one. Let me know how you guys feel about this league and what will be your league starter this time around. Hope this helped you out and helped you catch up, and thank you very much for watching. Make sure that you like and subscribe if you haven't, and I'm going to see you guys on the next one. Peace.